Okay, everyone, hey, welcome back to Staying Strong for Marriages. Just going to do a quick article review today. You know how I like to do these things. It's always interesting to see what these kind of researchers are doing. So this one's coming out of the National Health Statistics Report. It's done, you can see the full title here. Oops. Hey now, hey, don't do that. First marriages in the United States, so it's a U.S. study, data from the 2006-2010 National Survey of Family Growth. You got a bunch of PhDs working on this, Division of Vital Statistics. So it's, go down here to the very, very bottom. Yeah, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Maryland. So, okay, we're going to hit this like super quick because, I mean, look, I don't want to read all this. Honestly, we're going to hit the graphs. We're going to see what we can dig out of those real quick. It's just going to validate a lot of the things I've seen before. I didn't see much new, but it is always interesting to get a couple different looks, a couple different data points. Okay, so first one, we're going to just check this out. It's on the left side. We're looking at currently married for the first time, and this is all women in this first graph, aged 15 to 44. So currently married for the first time on the left, it's going down, okay? And then on the right, those 4 bars, currently cohabitating. So the dark year is 1982, and it just moves linearly 1995, 2002, and then 06 to 2010. So more cohabitation, less marriages, nothing we haven't seen before. Let's keep it moving. Moving to the next one, figure 2, probability of first marriage by specified age among women and men. So women in the red, men on the blue, and you can just see, you know, about how many people are going to be married by age 20, 25, 30, 35. The main point is the median marriage age for women, 25.8, and men, 28.3. Okay, that's nice. This is a very similar probability of first marriage by specified age among women, 18 years to 44 years of age, and it's just looking at the probability of their first marriage different times. So the dark one is 1995. You know, basically at age 20, more women were getting married in 1995. Less, but basically everything converges at age 40. Not much has changed. Pretty much women at age 40, you know, 70% of you are going to be married. So they do a lot of looking at, you know, how many marriages make it 20 years. So in this study, and this is kind of interesting actually, Asians 69%, Hispanics and whites about 54%, and then black about 37%. So, you know, you could wonder, you know, what's my likelihood of staying married 20 years? Well, there's a nice little indicator based on this study. I tried to look at some of the other national data today. It's a bit complicated actually, the crude rates and some of the technicalities. Okay, figure 5, probability that the first marriage will remain intact without disruption for 20 years among women and men, 22 years of age to 44 years of age by education. So the dark one is the least, the lighter one is at least a bachelor's, and basically what we see is that pretty much, I mean, more education the better. And we've seen that before, definitely in the which churches protect marriages. Boom, I'll put that up here at the top. You can check that out. I did a whole video just on, you know, if you want to pick a church based on organizations that seem to help people stay married and have low divorce rates, where should you go? Well, one of the things in that study, and we're seeing the same thing here, is that people that are making money, it really helps. It really, really helps. So maybe one thing you'd want to do is not, you know, marry a broke person, not marry someone loaded down with a crazy amount of debt that has no earning potential. You know, you just might want to hire somebody did I say that? That was awful. No, you want to marry somebody that, I mean, has good income, so your household income will be nice and strong. And so that might be kind of a taboo thing to say, maybe not for a woman to say it, maybe so much, maybe, but maybe not. But for a guy to say that, hey, I only want to get with a woman, you know, that's gonna, you know, bring in some cash. Women might be like, oh, that's awful. What are you saying? That's so non-traditional. It says the probability of a first marriage reaching its 20th anniversary was 52% for women and 56% for men. So, yeah, kind of seems like divorce rate's going to be, I don't know. What can we say from that? Next one, it's talking about cohabitation. However, women who cohabitated with their first husband, regardless of whether they were engaged, when they began living together, had lower probabilities of marriage survival at 20 years than women who did not cohabitate before marriage with their husbands. Now, for guys, it doesn't seem to matter, but they just say, actually at the top here, that these sex distinctions may exist because of differences in the meaning of cohabitation for men and women. They speculate. I mean, I don't know what 18 is. I'm not really going to look it up, but it appears to matter for women and not so much for men. This says, previous research suggests that women with more education and better economic prospects are more likely to delay first marriage to older ages, but are ultimately more likely to become married and to stay married. So these are probably the articles that they're quoting, 1920 and 33. I'll leave the link if you want to really go nutso and read this whole thing and pick it apart and go through the other parts about the citations. You can do that. Women with a bachelor's degree also had a higher probability of their first marriage lasting 20 years compared to women who had some college or women with a high school diploma. Similarly, women who had their first birth before first marriage and men who fathered a premarital first birth had a lower probability of their first marriage lasting 20 years than women and men whose first births came after their first marriage. So you basically want to stay away from single parents. Is that awful to say? I mean, you don't have to avoid them like the plague, but basically the statistics tell you that, like, if you want to give yourself the best opportunity, that you're adding risk to an already risky situation. I'll try to do another video on another article that I saw today, which said that this whole 50% thing is overinflated, that it's not actually that high, and that it's the clergy and it's the the writers, the magazines, the social hype people, maybe people like me, who love the high numbers because it puts us all in a state of panic and makes us really say, oh my gosh, like we're in a crisis, like what is going on, who's to blame. If you want to have some agenda, you can use it as ammo for that. I'll do that maybe, and then I'll put it on the end screen. Hope you guys are good. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.